Hey there, crafty friends, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you a quick little tutorial of what I'm going to be doing for my son's school, for all his special area teachers, for his teacher assistants, a cute, sweet little gift for Valentine's Day. This is super crafty, this is super DIY. I literally got these blanks from the Dollar Tree and we're just elevating it. I'm doing two beautiful examples here, one with real flowers and one with artificial flowers. They both look absolutely beautiful. It just depends on your budget. First, you guys know I had to take it up just a little notch and use my Cricut just to add some custom little sayings like best teacher ever. Okay, crafty friends, we are putting the hair up, we are putting it in a bun, and it is time to work. Let's do this. Okay, so first things first, I like to pre-prep. Get a bucket. By the way, this bucket is from the Dollar Tree. Just any bucket you have in your house or a bowl that's pretty deep like this, just grab one of those. Everything that I'm using here today is from two places, Amazon and Dollar Tree. So this right here is flour foam, but this could be used wet or dry. For today's tutorial, I'm going to be using both methods because for one of my gifts is going to be artificial flowers and the other one is going to be real flowers. So it's actually almost the same exact process, but I still want to show you just in case somebody needs to follow along. So let's go ahead and open this thing. The one that I specifically got is great because it already comes pre-cut in pretty thin rectangles. So we don't have to get our craft room so messy because sometimes these come in huge blocks and this size is just way easier. So I'm going to go ahead and get I think we're only going to need two for today. Okay, so the star of the show is definitely our blank, which is something that I got from the Dollar Tree. I picked up a whole bunch, but for today's video, I will be doing four. For $1.25, they're little wooden crates. The first thing I like to do is remove that price tag because sometimes I forget. They come off super easy. So I'm going to show you how I pre-measure these foam blocks. So if we align it perfectly and if we do a mark right here, I still like to go a little bit less than that so it could fit inside very snug and very nice. I made a little cut right here, so I'm just going to cut it a little bit closer. And this is super easy to cut, by the way. You could even do this with your Cricut blade. I'm gonna go around and around. And let's see if it has a nice fit now. Perfect. It is a perfect fit. And keep on doing the same process. By the way, whatever pieces you have left over, let's say that I'm going to keep on cutting and I have these little mini blocks. Don't put these to waste. You could cut this in half and fit them both in one. So just make them all fit. Make sure you have a pretty big piece in here, especially for those of you who are wanting to do the fresh flowers. We really want. Okay, super important. So let's say that you're one of those that you want to use fresh flowers. This is a time where you're going to need your bucket here. Okay, so I have a bucket with some water in here. I'm going to go ahead and take one of these out and I'm going to submerge it into my bucket of water. You want to make sure that it's submerged in water. So I'm going to go ahead and add just a little bit more. And now we're going to put this to the side while we start prepping for the other ones. This part is very special. So my son already did his teachers and he wanted to paint it himself. So special to a teacher that your kids made them their own like DIY little project. To protect my craft room area, even though my table is really scruffed up already, I'm going to go ahead and just get some parchment paper, but whatever works best for you. Maybe you want to use paper towel or a huge towel. This is a couple of my favorite little paints. I get these in Amazon, but if I'm not mistaken, they sell the same brand in Walmart. Either way, everything that I use today is going to be tagged in my description. I think I'm going to go for this strong pink and I'm going to go for this strong purple. Another thing I always pick up in Amazon, I have this on repeat, is these little paint sponges. They are so much fun. Kids love them. It's like less of a mess, if that kind of makes sense. They're super inexpensive. I'll also make sure to link it for you. But we use this every time we start painting with wood or do projects like that. So I'm going to go ahead and get one and two of these here and put it away. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and get our crates. I have my pink, I have my purple here. I'm going to start here. I like to kind of flip these over. I personally don't care for painting the inside, but if you want to, by all means, go ahead. But I'm going to flip it over and I'm just going to start to go to town. Get some of my paint and I'm going to start painting my wooden blank surface. Again, this is such a nice activity to do with your kids, with your grandchildren, your nieces and nephews. Even for all of my teachers that watch my YouTube, this is a really nice little project that the kids could do. Okay, so I'm done painting both of them. Since I was working on my purple one, my pink one is pretty dried out already. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a second coat. Remember, wood is very porous, so that paint kind of like looks very thin on it. So go ahead and give it a second layer. Okay, so now you have some options here. We could either be patient and wait till this air dries, which It should air dry pretty fast. I am not patient, so I'm gonna go ahead and get a regular hair blow dryer, or if you have a heat gun at home for crafts, you could do that as well. Try not to use such hot heat because you could melt the paint since we just painted it. Try to go for like a medium with high pressure. Alrighty, so this purple one is going to be our first example. I'm going to be putting real flowers in here. I'm going to show you step by step how to do this. And this pink one over here, we're going to use it for artificial flowers. There's no difference. It's a personal preference. Dollar Tree has a huge variation of flowers. I mean, look at this. They're beautiful. And I'm going to help you put them together. So just keep on watching. I'm going to get some plastic wrap. This is so important. I'll also link this in my Amazon storefront. I'm going to grab a pretty long piece and lay it flat on my craft table. Remember what we had soaking here? This is that wet mod. We're going to go ahead and grab it. We're going to plump it right on top of here, just like that. It's going to be super dense now, remember. And now we're just going to get some of this wrap and we're going to go right over it. We're going to rip this from this side. And then we're just gonna be wrapping this like a burrito pretty much. So just make sure that's really wrapped. All the sides. Just something like that. I don't like the top layer being too wrapped. I'd rather the bottom be very heavily wrapped, but have that top layer a little bit open, okay? And then this is gonna fit perfectly inside of our little crate. So adorable. Love it. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and get my real flowers. I'm just going to get my scissors. I'm going to look for a couple of flowers that I like. I'm just going to chop them pretty close to the actual flower head. I'm going to grab some of these flowers. Beautiful too. Whoop. This one's really pretty too. Kind of get my scissors and I like to open that top layer up a little bit just so it's easier when I'm stuffing these flowers in there. Sometimes if the flowers are a little bit on the thinner side like these, it's going to be hard to go through that plastic. So I like to just pinch right here and kind of open up that top layer without affecting what's in the bottom, because if not, the water is going to smear everywhere. And then with my fingers, I like to make like a little pool like that, you see? So now have fun. Assemble your little flower bouquet however you want. Okay, look at how cute this is looking so far. I'm loving all these natural flowers. I truly love like the overhanging style, so I cut them real short and I always start from like the corners to the middle and then I fill in every single corner. For example, this one right here looks a little empty, so I would probably get like one of my flowers and just shove it there. I want it to look as if it's like a bouquet that's spilling out of this crate or that was grown from this crate. So I am loving this so far. This is our fresh flowers. It's a little bit on the heavier side because of that wet block. I'm going to put this to the side and let me show you how I would do the artificial flowers. So like how I said earlier, for this one, we did not have to immerse it into the water since this is artificial flowers, right? There's no need for that moisture. So I'm going to go ahead and drop this down. I'm going to go ahead and put it right in here, drop it right there. And then the same exact process that we did with the real flowers is what we're going to do with the artificial flowers, just cutting them short. That's really what it is. Here's a little fun fact. It's actually a little bit easier using artificial flowers because the real flowers, sometimes the stems are a little bit on the weaker side. So when you're trying to put them in closely and very softly, sometimes the stem breaks and the flower gets all whimsy. So honestly, the fake flowers is way easier. Let's see. These are jewelry pliers. So let's see if this is going to work for me. Yeah, it worked perfect. So even jewelry pliers like these are actually really easy to work with. So I'm going to go ahead and cut some of these heads now. So we have a whole bunch of these flower beds from the Dollar Tree. Now we're going to go ahead and assemble kind of the same thing. I cut them real short. I want to say this is like 1.5 inches just so I could poke this very easily. These are really nice because you could really push them down and they're not going to break on you. So even adding some of that greenery looks really pretty, so I love that. This is side to side. Look how cute. I love the pink one and I love the purple flowery one. Remember, this is where you get creative. Of course, you guys know me. We don't just stop right here. We're going to take it up another notch, make this even more custom and more, I don't know, more meaningful, more Valentine's Day, right? And we're going to use our Cricuts to make a little sign. But heads up, we're actually not going to be using permanent vinyl. We're going to use HTV vinyl, which is also known as iron-on vinyl. Fun fact, HTV vinyl works really, really good with anything that is wooden. It's such an easier process. Sometimes when you're using permanent vinyl on wooden objects, it's so hard to remove that transfer tape. Sometimes it's really hard for it to even stick onto the actual wood. When it comes to heat transfer vinyl or iron-on vinyl, it is such an easy process, and it's actually more durable than permanent vinyl. So let's go over to Cricut Design Space. I'm going to record the whole process, and I'm actually going to save it for all of you because I hope you know that you could follow me on Cricut Design Space and work on the same projects that I'm working on. So I promise to make sure that I'm going to keep up the same measurements so you could do the same ones at home. Alrighty, so now we're here in Cricut Design Space. My favorite part is get to designing. So I went ahead and went on my images, and then I searched up candy heart. I've done this previously, so I already knew what to type in. I'm going to keep on going down, and if you notice, I do have one of these candy hearts already bookmarked. Again, such a huge tip I could give to all of you. If you find something that you feel like you would probably use again, always bookmark it. You never know when you might need it again. I used the same one last year for some shirts, and now I'm using it again for these wooden crates, so that's great. On your right side of your panel, you'll see how there's layers. There's a pink and there's an outline. You could go ahead and actually delete that pink side by just clicking your delete button, and now you have like a hollow, only an outline candy heart, which is what I wanted. I'm gonna hit the text box, and I'm just gonna come up with any sweet little ideas. I also think it's a really cute if you probably add your teacher's name or maybe like little cute sayings. I wanted to keep it really short, really simple. Plus my son's teacher has a really long name, so it would have been a little bit difficult. But yes, have fun with this. Choose your favorite font. I definitely chose this one, and just try proportioning it right now. I'm just seeing like what size fits better, and once you're happy with how it's looking like right now, you're gonna go ahead and select everything, and you're gonna attach. You'll see that option in the right lower hand corner. Notice how everything turns the same solid black. That is because now it's all one image. You don't want your Cricut to cut everything separate. I went ahead and I duplicated this because now I'm just gonna unattach this one to just personalize and make it a different saying. And for this one, I put best teacher. I thought it was super cute. And we're pretty much doing the same thing all over again. So I know this one sounds a little bit more difficult because it's like a two phrase type of little design, but just play with it. Remember, tug along, just make sure it's within the candy heart. Don't overpass it because then it's going to be a very hard time to weed this out, and it might look a little off. So this is perfect. Just make sure it's within the heart. Once you're done, select everything as always, and you're going to attach. So remember, when you're working this on your Cricut Design Space, and if you want yours to say something different, just unattach, and then you'll be able to edit it from there. I also pre-measured those wooden crates, and it's exactly 2.5 in width. It fits perfectly. So I'm saving this for you guys as well, so you guys can know how big of a print that you could do. Now, once we're done here, we're going to hit make it, and then you could save or not save, up to you. And then notice how I'm gonna go ahead and put 2 on project copies, and it duplicates everything for me because I'm doing 2 crates right now. So that's like a great tool that Cricut Design Space does. You don't have to do the extra work pretty much. I like to space them out a little bit, and now it's time to connect our Cricut and let it do what it does, right? For the cutting setting, for HTV raw and regular HTV vinyl, you could just use everyday iron-on. It doesn't need anything more stronger than this. It's actually perfect this way, unless we're working with, of course, like glitter or holographic type of HTVs, but that's not this case today. So let's go ahead and go over to our Cricut machine and let it do what it does. We're gonna hit the play button and let our Cricut go ahead and cut this perfectly. Look how cute my little heat press is. This is a new one I bought, by the way. I can't wait to use it. And then now we're going to go ahead and weed this HTV vinyl out. Thankfully, I am using the HTV raw brand because, as you all know, there's other iron-on HTV vinyl brands that it's very difficult to work with. This one is a hard pull, but it is so good. It's such a good quality for such a good price. This is actually the only HTV brand that I ever use, so I will make sure to link it for you as well. Okay, now that I'm all done, I'm going to start preheating my little Cricut mini press. This is my original one I always go to. Believe it or not, I use this more than probably my big heat press. I do so many small projects too all the time. So I think this little mini heat press is always a staple in everybody's craft room. I'm going to go ahead and put it at the second temperature right here. And let's let it warm up and let's start preparing for our little boxes. I decided to do white because my colors are very bold. Like if you're doing very, very light colors, which I also think is so cute, very aesthetic looking, I would go ahead and maybe do like an opposite color. Maybe do the candy hearts like, I don't know, dark pink, maybe not black per se, but maybe it looks good. You never know. So a quick little reminder, if you want to do the candy heart design, I would have done this before putting the flowers into the actual crates and do this prior, but just in case you forgot, it's totally fine. I'm going to show you how we could do it very easily with even having all of these things inside of these little wooden crates. Go ahead and get one of mine here. This one says best teacher. I'm going to go ahead and place it right on here exactly where I want to see it. See, we're going to press it on here because that carrier sheet is always a little sticky and it works on the wood too, so it's very convenient as well. So we're going to have this just like that. I'm going to go ahead and grab my Cricut, and since this is HTV vinyl, remember every HTV brand is different with heat settings. This one's always a 320 with like maybe like a 15-second press, but with this mini one we could kind of like direct it. And directly on here, I'm literally holding this in the air, by the way. I am just pressing it down and I'm just ironing it on. I'm trying to go back and forth. I don't want to put too much heat pressure in one spot at the same time. So think of it like you're ironing your clothes, right? You're going back and forth. You don't have the press right on your fabric, right? Make sure you're really getting in there. There you go. And since we're letting this cool, I'm going to go ahead and work on the other side. And look how cute this is looking. So this is our final result. These came out so adorable. If it's in your budget, this is a time where you could put like maybe a little gift card. Just an example, this is one of my Amazon gift cards. Look how cute this looks. So even with or without a gift card, this is still a beautiful DIY gift. Another very sweet idea that I did last year is I added some fake flowers and I also got some chocolates, and I would also put them everywhere too. And it's still a really nice little ornament that they could put on their desk every single year for Valentine's Day. Again, these are so stinking adorable. Alrighty, crafty friends, so just let me know what you think in the comments. Which one did you like better? The artificial flowers, the real flowers? Was this very easy to follow along with? I hope it was. Let me know in the comments. Please remember, every single item that I used today, I will be linking everything in my description below. And I will also make sure to have a little list of all the things that I bought from the Dollar Tree, which wasn't much, to be honest. Love you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for supporting this YouTube channel. I am having so much fun on here with all of you. I love you guys.